I'm the Ilaria Bonacossa, curator of the exhibition More Real Than the Real. I work as artistic director in Genova at the Museum of Villa Croce, and I have been selected to curate this show for the CreArt project. It's been very interesting selecting the works through the website and collaborating with the artists. It's a big satisfaction to see the works installed in the space, because it's always quite different to see physical works instead of JPEGs. And the idea was to unite works talking about reality in very different ways. But I was struck by how many of the artists were looking at giving visions of telling stories and giving visions. And so the show tries to put together all these stories to give a kind of a new cut on reality.
I'm interested in representation of reality in painting, and all things related with perception of reality and irony in perception and so on. These works are from my project about extreme sports. That was a fictional story of extreme sports. It was ironical, and I painted these guys with windsurfing equipment like saints. Church is a good place for saints. And I think contemporary saints are young guys who are interested in extreme sports. Them are very important to contemporary world. The other diptych is from my project inspired by writer José Luis Borges. His book Garden of Forking Paths. It was painted earlier, and it was about reality as well.
I'm a new media artist. I'm interested with the new medias and digital technologies. I have chosen some project to this exhibition, like they are connected with a subject of reality. Like whole name of this exhibition is Real Than More Real. So I made up this composition. So it's my presentation, like my works. I'm very glad to join to CreArt. So I think it's a good project, but it's the beginning, and it's a lot of work to do.
Sono una fotografa di Genova, ho iniziato a fotografare da circa 10 anni e mi occupo in prevalenza dei paesaggi industriali e di abbandono. Questo lavoro si è sviluppato nel tempo e nel corso degli anni e sono arrivata ad una maturazione mia personale grazie alla macchina fotografica. Quindi tramite l'oggetto fotografico io cerco di esprimere quello che ho dentro, quindi di tirare fuori delle sensazioni che di solito normalmente con le parole non si tirano fuori. Ringrazio il progetto di CreArt perché mi ha dato la possibilità di venire in Spagna, quindi di uscire dal mio paese natale, dall'Italia, ed è una gran bella opportunità e possibilità anche di far vedere agli altri il mio lavoro, quindi quello che faccio.
Presento dos piezas, una se titula Aprendizaje sobre el gesto técnico y la otra es KS. La primera es una pieza de suelo y la segunda es un vídeo. En apunte sobre el aprendizaje del gesto técnico, lo que se presenta es una pieza de suelo que de alguna manera reúne una serie de materiales extraídos del registro de una acción. Esta acción consistía en grabar y registrar como un equipo de gimnasia rítmica entrenaba, mientras dos estudiantes de Bellas Artes, tomando como modelos a las niñas, hacían una serie de dibujos a carboncillo. Lo que presento en esta exposición es la pieza de suelo resultante de toda esa acción. Esto por un lado. Y luego por otro, también presento un vídeo, una película en realidad de 54 minutos que se llama KS, que son las iniciales de los dos actores con los que trabajé, Sara y Koldo. Básicamente lo que hicimos en KS fue coger a dos actores y una cámara y yo y irnos al monte a registrar una serie de performance. Yo les propuse a los actores trabajar sobre la idea de acción y les propuse una partitura de trabajo. Estuvimos durante todo un día trabajando en el monte en completo silencio y la idea es que con el material del que disponíamos allí, por supuesto todo material en bruto, piedras, palos, piñas y tierra, ellos tenían que trabajar y hacer una serie de acciones que tenían que ver con persecuciones, definir el lugar, encontrarse ellos también en este lugar. Y bueno, lo cierto es que a partir de esa experiencia surgió un registro en vídeo en el que estaban ellos, estaba yo, estaba la cámara y estaba el lugar en el que estuvimos trabajando. No es que sea narrativo, pero sí que es verdad que por la manera en que estuvimos trabajando se construyó una historia. Estar en una exposición de este tipo, colectiva, y que va a itinerar por toda Europa, yo creo que bueno, es un regalo y es una buena oportunidad para poder enseñar lo que hago fuera, ¿no? Los artistas españoles solemos tener ciertas dificultades o tenemos como una especie de barrera que a veces es institucional y a veces es psicológica de enseñar nuestro trabajo fuera de nuestro país, y yo creo que esto desde luego que es una oportunidad para dar ese pequeño saltito.
Living in a specific part of Transylvania, we call Székelyföld. Szeklerland is an English name. Székelyföld lives in a difficult but productive pressure between the traditions and trends, between Romanians and Hungarians, and I think the main good point in that is that we can learn from each other, and this is the most important in this project, the CreArt, that in a really higher level we can learn from each other's culture and contemporary art. My photographs represent how we live there, and different represents two types of different attitudes what we can have to each other. The first picture represents degradation, how we consume each other's values, and the other show us tree, but with that tree and the heart that contributes in the tree, we can have the possibility of loveful attitude also to the nature and also to the people.
So the installation is made of real northern foxfur remains at a corpse, which we wear as a scarf against cold, or fashion accessories. And in fact, the 1,000 nails of the scarf represent the soul of the animal, which remains always invisible to us. This new textile object re-established view on aesthetics. Materials meeting has a metaphorical meaning, is a protest towards animals. This CreArt project, I think, is a really good opportunity to meet with another artist and see how it's working, and it's a good opportunity to keep the connection between the artist and see another way.
I'm from Pardubice, from small town in Czech Republic. I show here my pictures of landscapes. I try to find some realistic landscape and make it unrealistic by the light. I am waiting for night and use strong torches for lighting by myself. And I think the pictures it's not so important for me. I like the process of making these pictures, and it's more important than finish photographs. I work as a photojournalist in newspaper in Czech Republic, and this project is some kind of relax for me. And what about CreArt project? I think it's very good, maybe to compare artworks, another artist in Europe, and of course I'm happy to be here.
I'm from Lecce, in South Italy. My artistic research begins from about 10 years ago, and I used more way of contemporary art, mostly the drawings. For this exhibition, I propose the Blankets project, where I revisited conceptually and deeply the blanket concept with the different materials. In protection wood, I used recycled wood for explain the protection idea, and in love hair, I used the hair for explain the love idea. I think the CreArt project is very important for the young artists. I made my works in Atelier House Salsamt in Linz, in artistic residence supported by CreArt. For me, it is a big experience and opportunity.
I'm a performer and a sound artist, and I try to develop the bridge between these two practices. This work here is a physical representation of the sound, and this is my exploration. Because I'm a performer, I try to put this physical thing on my sound art work. This work here is about the sound waves that the dehumidifier produce, and try to arrange like other sound waves with the frequency very near of the frequencies of the dehumidifier to create a physical phenomenon that's called beating, that puts like the speakers moving, and they can draw in here the sound of the dehumidifier. Like you know, the sound of the dehumidifier, it's not a constant sound, because the humidity in the air always change. So the representation of that, every day you have a new draw of the humidity of the air. Now the installation, it's without sound. So because we are making this interview, that's why we cannot see the speakers moving, but they move with this the physical phenomena of beating. That's the thing. I live in Portugal. It's a very peripheric country. We are not in the middle of the Europe. So these kind of initiatives like CreArt, it's very nice to put our works, circulate in other cities with other publics, and it's great to be here and know these total different artists from many cities. And it's also nice to come to a city like Valladolid and meet the artists based here in Valladolid. This kind of connections and speaking with them, well, it's amazing.
I'm from Austria and I study in Linz, and I'm a photographer. My main themes are architecture and the idea of home, and sometimes I work with the deception of spatial awareness within photography. And I started, I make analog photos and then scan them and prepare them in Photoshop. And the first work I did was more a montage, a digital montage. And now I try more to work to find analog ways to create that deception that something is not right. And in this exhibition you can see two of the results, how that is working for me by now.
Well, my work is called paper drawing with pink pastel, and it's a site-specific work, and I also consider it to be both drawing and installation. It's also combined with two smaller pieces, which you only see if you go really close. They're small papers which are covered in charcoal. I always put up my work myself, and I have to use about 4 or 5 days to make a work. And when it's done, when the exhibition is finished, it's recycled, it's thrown out, and will never be seen again. And I think that's a very important part of the work, that both I have to be present for 4 or 5 days to make the art, and when the exhibition is done, it's gone. So you just have the photos and the memories. CreArt is very exciting opportunity to be involved with. I would never had the ability to go to Spain and go to the other countries we're going to visit if it hadn't been for CreArt. And just a couple of 2 days I've been talking to so many interesting artists and the curators and the local people here who has been arranging it. Has been just marvelous. It's so professional. So I think it's a very important opportunity for many artists. So I can't wait for the next exhibition. I'm very eager to continue working with CreArt.
I studied visual communications in Linz, Austria, and my field of work is photography. In my work, I'm basically interested in the relationship between man and the environment. And for my recent project, Momentum Glaciers of the Alps, I traveled through Europe, through the Alpine region for several months, and I recorded the transformation of the landscapes in this area caused by global warming.
El proyecto que hemos traído a la sala de exposiciones aquí de la Pasión está ligado a los últimos trabajos que vengo realizando en los últimos años, en los últimos 3-4 años. La verdad es que me empieza a interesar muchísimo lo que es la parte más real de las cosas vistas por la espalda, ¿no? De frente. Evito el ojo que te mira para empezar a gestar un producto que habla sobre lo que queda por detrás. Y si me ha llegado a sorprender tanto que he empezado a hablar sobre elementos tan sencillos y cotidianos como son la visión natural y normal de un rostro pero de espaldas, un cuerpo pero de espaldas, una arquitectura de espaldas o incluso un paisaje visto por el lado contrario. En ese sentido, pues mis referencias más directas son las del propio Velázquez, el cuadro de las Meninas, cuando intenta pintarnos a nosotros mismos, ¿no? Y lo que se ve es que un bastidor que está dado la vuelta. Yo creo que sería la referencia más interesante. Por otro lado, bueno, hay ciertas cuestiones que a mí también me interesan, que son el juego puntual que puede dejar un elemento de luz en el cuadro visual y hace que se vea incluso la propia textura o huella del objeto o de la pieza, ¿no? Lo real, literal, de hecho la exposición esta, más real que lo real, viene a ser una casi también, pega mucho con lo que yo he venido realizando, que habla sobre lo real, lo que se muestra y lo que está oscuro, oculto, ¿no? Bien, por otro lado, bueno, el proyecto CreArt yo creo que es una iniciativa muy interesante a nivel europeo que nos lleva a pensar en la globalidad de este mundo actual, donde artistas de todos los países pues nos hemos visto aquí concentrados en esta exposición que luego va a girar, ¿no? A mí me parece un proyecto interesantísimo. No hay que cerrarse en banda, hay que pensar que esto ya es un mundo abierto, un mundo que nos permite viajar, que nos permite estar. Las nuevas tecnologías es un ejemplo claro de lo que está sucediendo y yo creo que tenemos que disfrutar de eso y de la convivencia literal entre todos los personajes de este mundo.
Este trabalho que aqui tenho é a partir deste objeto que é construído a partir de materiais que fui encontrando e numa tentativa de ligá-los por meio destes arames e fita-colas, construir um objeto que depois iria servir de modelo para as pinturas que aqui apresento. A ideia de trabalho é a criação de pintura a partir do objeto e de que forma é que posso desconstruí-lo e interpretá-lo de forma a que a partir dele dê origem a uma outra realidade que depois vai sendo fixada em cada pintura e que pode ser interpretada por cada observador. E a ideia é um pouco essa, é pegar em bocados, reagrupá-los com outros elementos e criar uma imagem daquilo que seria um ponto de vista possível para o objeto. Eu já tinha participado numa atividade, no workshop com o António Lopes e com o Cristóbal Toral, e parece-me essencialmente uma grande oportunidade de conhecimento de vários pontos de vista acerca das mais variadas temáticas e uma grande possibilidade de ir percorrendo espaços diferentes e produzir trabalho e ter essa visibilidade, no caso aqui internacional, e no caso do workshop de ter tido a possibilidade de trabalhar com António Lopes e ter conhecido processos de trabalho e de ter aprendido essencialmente com ele.